The road that Cyberpunk 2077 has gone through definitely hasn't been the easiest, and I think that if you've followed the game in any capacity, you know that. You know that it hasn't had the easiest of launches. It's been delayed several times. We've had a couple of controversies with the game, and there's just been a lot of news surrounding it. As consumers, we've eagerly awaited this game to launch. We've heard for years now little bits and pieces of information while never really knowing what we were going to get, because some AAA games come out and they're completely unplayable and broken and just of poor quality, but we are officially one day away from 2077's official launch, and I just want to say thank you to the developers who worked on this game, who have given us a title to look forward to in 2020, who have done their best with this game, and thank you to CD Projekt Red for taking this idea of a game on paper and making it a reality on our monitors or TVs for us all to enjoy. So, like I said, we're officially a day away from launch, and I wanted to talk to you all about some of the initial impressions and reviews that are going up on the internet now that we've seen some leaked gameplay. We've all been a little bit nervous as to what this game would turn out to be, and now we're finally seeing reviewer scores, we're hearing their first thoughts of it, and some people are saying that they even finished the game, even though they've only had copies of it for a couple of days now. So the first article that I wanted to reference is from Dextero. Reviewers warn that Cyberpunk 2077 comes with game-breaking bugs at launch. So it just kind of sounds like a Bethesda game, am I right? So it says, while the hype for Cyberpunk 2077 has been through the roof and the game mostly delivers on some fronts, reviewers are warning about a large amount of bugs in the PC version, and it's unknown when they will be fixed. So it's safe to say that Cyberpunk 2077 is easily the most anticipated game of 2020 and possibly of the last couple of years. I just want to say that a game like The Last of Us Part 2 was pretty hyped up. Unfortunately, it did kind of fail in a lot of areas for a lot of people, but it still was very anticipated, and it also came out in 2020, but I do think that yes, people are way more excited for Cyberpunk just because we've been waiting so long for Cyberpunk and our expectations, like I had said, are extremely high for it. So it says, ever since its re-announcement back in 2018, the community has been eager to get their hands on the title and try out what seemed to be a huge open world experience with an interesting aesthetic. Now the reviews for the game are out in the wild, and while most seem to agree that it mostly lives up to the hype and delivers on a few fronts, reviewers who played the pre-launch version, at least on PC, are seemingly warning that it is full of bugs in its current state. Now, I just want to say they are, of course, playing without the day one patch, and we know that the day one patch will probably have a lot of bug fixes and a lot of glitch fixes, but we do not know how much that day one patch is going to fix, and hopefully, it fixes a lot. Hopefully it makes the experience in general much smoother for people, but we ultimately have no clue until the game officially launches in a couple of days. So it says, while Cyberpunk 2077 currently sits at a comfortable 91 on Metacritic, reviewers seem to agree that the game is full of bugs, even the ones who have given it high marks. I do think that when a game is buggy and glitchy, it does deserve to be mentioned in a review, and I do also think that it should bring down the score a little bit, at least in my opinion. I know some people disagree with that, but there are a lot of reviewers out there right now giving the game a 100% rating, yet also complaining in their reviews about the bugs and glitches, which do mess up the experience that you're having with the game. So I do think that that is very important to the review score. But here is one of the threads on Twitter that's going around right now. It says, Cyberpunk is a buggy mess. The game wasn't as bad for me at the start, but towards the end of the game, it started to collapse. Every main character was touched by hilarious bugs, and the last frame before the credits was bugged. I thought it was the actual ending. I'm eager to revisit Night City, I really am. There's so much I didn't do. There's clearly a game there that I didn't partake in, counting on a day one patch. Good luck. The game's bugs run deep at every aspect of the experience, UI to cutscenes. Now again, we won't know until we get the game in our hands and we're able to test it out for ourselves, but there are definitely some reviewers out there saying the rest of the game is amazing. The story's really good, graphically it's really good, The characters are good, but unfortunately, there's a lot of bugs and glitches. So I wanted to head over to the Metacritic for a couple of seconds and just show you all the current critic reviews. There's 44 of them. There is 42 positive reviews and only 2 mixed reviews. The current score, like the article said, is at a 91, and I just kind of wanted to scroll down to the lower ones to read to you all why they gave it a low score. GamesBeat says, I think that Cyberpunk 2077 delivers the big budget gaming thrills that many people are looking for, but it falls short in a few key areas for me, and a lot of that comes as a byproduct of its ambition. GameSpot says your mileage may vary, but in our experience, the bugs are obtrusive and substantial across the board, often forcing us to reload saves or exit the game entirely. It's hard to really get into a world you are constantly having to leave, but then again, it's hard to get into Cyberpunk's world in general. And some of these slightly higher reviews, like the 85s, are saying, you know, Cyberpunk had the potential of being one of the contenders to the Game of the Year 2020 title, with an incredible city that delivers a strong atmosphere and really beautiful graphics on PC. On the other hand, it's a letdown by underused features and can't live up to the hype surrounding its release, especially given the appalling technical aspect of the game, with truckloads of bugs and very serious performance issues, even on an extremely powerful PC. We bet it will be Game of the Year in 2021 in 6 to 8 months when everything's been ironed out. So as you can see, there are a lot of reviewers who are saying it's a masterpiece, this game is amazing, but there's also quite a few reviewers out there who are saying, I would wait to play it, the game has a lot of bugs, a lot of glitches, and we're hoping that it will be fixed soon, but right now the game does have some problems. So it is disappointing to see some reviewers are having a hard time with the game because of these things, but I really hope the day one patch fixes some of the problems, at least, to make the journey through Night City a little bit easier to enjoy. I can't wait to play through the game. I'm going to be streaming it on launch day. Very excited to finally get into the game, get into Night City, and see what it has to offer. But that's all that I had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts about the whole situation in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to give it a like and share it. And of course, if you did not, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.